Blake Lively, you smeared me. It is a common aspect of the narcissist's behaviour to claim that they are the victim of a smear campaign. This is because the narcissist's default position is that of victim, irrespective of their own behaviour, which of course is either deleted, watered down, or excused. The narcissist concerns themselves with the belief that the activities and behaviour of other people towards them, where problematic, is quite clearly not driven by any appropriate justification. The narcissist will invariably function with a degree of paranoia. This paranoia serves a purpose in respect of the vigilance that is required to nullify threats to control, to maintain the need of control, to keep that individual under the control of the narcissist. By instilling the narcissist with some degree of paranoia, and it varies narcissist to narcissist, the narcissist is compelled to act. And a common manifestation of this paranoia is to believe that people are smearing the narcissist. Ask the narcissist to point to examples, and they may well just provide you with vague and amorphous responses. Such and such said this, but they can't point to any actual evidence. Well, all these people have got it in for me. They're envious of me, so it's not a surprise that they're all talking shit about me. But that is simply a manifestation of the paranoia as a means to assert control over the individual that the narcissist is dealing with. In other instances, the narcissist will seize upon what is legitimate criticism based upon evidence of the poor behaviour of the narcissist and dismiss it as a smear campaign. Accordingly, where someone highlights evidence of poor behaviour, misconduct, nasty actions on the part of that narcissist, and particularly where they do so through a platform, the narcissist is not going to go, "You're right, you've called out my behaviour, I'm an awful person, I'm going to correct it from now on and never behave the same way." You know that's impossible as a consequence of the fact that the narcissist has no ability to self-reflect, and furthermore, that the narcissism demands the rejection of any form of criticism of the narcissist. It is certainly the case that some narcissists will pay lip service to the idea of contrition, but that's simply another manipulation. It is false contrition. In the circumstances, the narcissist may say, "I know that I have hurt people, and I'm terribly sorry for all of this, and I will now make amends and correct my behaviour." But it's insincere. There's no substance to it. More commonly, the narcissist will recognise and see any legitimate criticism of their behaviours as a smear campaign against them. This is born out of grandiosity. First of all, well, they're bound to smear me because I'm hugely important, influential, and they're envious of me. So in some respects, it makes sense that they would try to smear me. Second, a lack of accountability. I'm always right, and I'm entitled to do what I wish to do, and this is the only way that they can get to me, by telling lies about me. 3, the victimhood. The suggestion that they are always the victim of the poor behaviour of other people in order to blame shift, which assists with the enforcement of the issue of control, and also to seek fuel by way of people's response. And we see an excellent example of this in relation to Blake Lively, who I've assessed previously as a narcissist, whereby Priscilla de Gregory reports for the New York Post, Blake Lively claims Perez Hilton published more than 500 negative pieces about her unrelenting feud with Justin Baldoni, as she dukes it out with her co-star turned enemy for allegedly mounting a smear campaign against her. Lively alleged that Hilton, whose real name is Mario Lavandera Jr., put out 540 disparaging videos and posts about her without first reaching out to her side for comment. Well, that shows a degree of entitlement, of course, to believe that she should be a party to what he generates first, i.e., you should tell me so then I have an opportunity to nullify your threat to control. But also stated that these videos generally regurgitate messaging that appears to be prepared by others. Thus, she suggests that not only has she been smeared by Perez Hilton, but he's done it at the behest of Justin Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties, who are naturally painted black in the eyes of Blake Lively. This is something that was stated in court papers that Lively's lawyers filed this week. The court papers also claim that Hilton used a slew of slurs and mocking epithets about her, including calling her Blackface Blake, Lying Lively, Ku Klux Khaleesi, and Litigious Lively. The Gossip Girl star subpoenaed the gossip hag for any correspondence he may have exchanged with Baldoni's side, as she seeks to prove her claims that her It Ends With Us co-star turned nemesis carried out a smear campaign against her. Accordingly, she's maintaining that Baldoni has carried out a smear campaign against her, and that Perez Hilton is part of this smear campaign by being an extension of the machinations of Justin Baldoni. It exhibits her paranoia. It exhibits her sense of entitlement. Because if she believes that such correspondence exists, why doesn't she just ask the Wayfarer parties or Baldoni himself for it? If she believes that there is direct communication from Baldoni or people on his behalf to Hilton, ask them for it. But she's going after Hilton because she wants to bully him into compliance. Hilton last month filed papers seeking a protective order to stop Lively's team from publishing journalists' and influencers' personal addresses when she subpoenas them, and he's fighting her subpoena for his records in Las Vegas federal court. Hilton told the Post in an exclusive statement that he's not part of Baldoni's alleged smear campaign against Lively, and he only published opinions he formed on his own by reading Lively's suit and Baldoni's since dismissed countersuit. Notice there are lots of people across social media that advance views about individuals, many of whom are narcissists. And this is the response. In this instance, this narcissist can't stand to be criticised, and therefore she assumes that it's part of an orchestrated smear campaign against her. It is unclear whether Hilton has actually created 540 videos about her. Let's assume that he has. He's entitled, as a consequence of the living that he creates from his gossip and observations, to create as many videos as he wishes, which stay within the auspices of the law. Just because he criticises her, which he's legitimately entitled to do upon the evidence, doesn't equate to a smear campaign. In all likelihood, he does it because he gets clicks and makes money out of it, rather than it being excessively a vehicle whereby he wants to take action against Blake Lively by smearing her. Naturally, the paranoia that she is subjected to causes her to believe that he is part of this orchestrated smear campaign. He said, "I was not part of any smear campaign against her. I wasn't working on behalf of anyone. I wasn't paid by anyone." After reading Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against her and his first amended complaint, my opinions and support shifted, the influencer said. Hilton also said that his work records are shielded by laws that protect journalists, and said, since he works and lives in Las Vegas, the issue should be fought in a court in the Silver State. "She's asking me for information that's privileged," Hilton said. "She's also asking me for information that she could and should obtain from the parties in this case, the Wayfarer defendants, not from me, a non-party to this litigation. I did nothing wrong," he concluded. "I am not afraid of Blake Lively." Lively is asking Manhattan federal judge Louis Lyman to force Hilton to comply with her subpoena and to force him to cough up attorney's fees for any Hilton-related litigation. Her team claimed in the court papers that to date Baldoni and the other defendants haven't turned over any messages that Hilton exchanged with them. Accordingly, Blake Lively is now seeking to bully a non-party to litigation into the provision of information based on her belief that he was part of an orchestrated smear campaign. Hilton has been critical of her. That equates to a threat to control. Her response is to use litigation, as certain narcissists do, to nullify that threat to control but does so cemented by her paranoia, believing that he is part of an organised and orchestrated smear campaign that has been puppeted by Justin Baldoni. Hilton denies this, and undoubtedly a court will make a finding in due course. But irrespective of the truth of the situation, we know that because Blake Lively is a narcissist, and we know that what Hilton has stated about her, whether true or otherwise, irrespective of whether it's part of a smear campaign, threatens her need for control, and this is the result that you get. By understanding narcissism in relation to her, you understand what drives her to take such action. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.